go. Microphone is on. Welcome everyone. Glad to have you all on board today. And wonderful day here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And of course, I'm your host, DrFox2000. And behind me in the trees, we have the choir of the magpies. There is at least about 30 of them out there right now. And of course, you're watching VolcanoX live stream. And thank you, everyone, for being here today. Yeah, the magpies. Just to throw a little quick thing in here. In the fall, the magpies group up and get together. And I don't know if that's some kind of a mating ritual before, the winter or what it is. But yeah, Magpie City. That's a good way of putting it, Sharon. They do that. And, they'll group up 30, 40 magpies at a time flying around. And you better not get mad at them because they'll get back at you real quick. They're sneaky buggers. Anyway, glad to have everyone on board. Going to say hello to our wonderful moderators before we get going here. Of course, Arizona Snowman is in the house, as well as Piggy. Welcome, Piggy. And hopefully you will get successful at getting a schnauzer kind of dog. And we'll see what happens there. And hopefully everything will go well. C&D boy, Bob is also here from The Rock. And of course he's out on Vancouver Island, West Coast. So pretty awesome there. And then let's see, we may have Gary in the background. 24/7 live, he's at Skies, as well as Lucas Snow and Joseph Fields might be in the background as well. So always nice to have the moderators here, and you guys are awesome. Thank you very much. And let's see, what else we got going on? I guess we gotta say the person that gets the cookies today, and that was Juliet. She was in first, snuck in the door by a long shot, actually. At least 10 seconds. Anyway, can I get an oink oink for Dr. Fox? I don't know. That's kind of an interesting trade. A couple of oinks for Dr. Fox. I don't know. Is that a good trade? Thank you for the oink oinks, though. I'll take them. And that is awesome. And anyway, we got to say hi to everyone in here. So let's see what we can do to get through that fairly quick. And we'll start out with saying hi to Hermione Schaefer and Kevin Haynes, Thor, Sasha. Welcome, all of you. Robert is here. Then we have Henry Nelson, Kananaskis Country, Sue Hayes. And going up some more, of course, we got Juliet. Hermione Schaefer is here. Moda Alfano also here. Welcome. And going up a little bit more, looking for more wonderful names real quick. And that's where it gets into repeating some. Okay, Tom Dice, welcome. Glad to have you on board. And going up some more, Sharon Stewart says, I can hear you in Magpie City. Yep, they're there, and definitely. Actually, they're being fairly quiet right now. They may have flown off a little bit further, which is really good. I don't mind that. Even the squirrels get a little nervous when there's so many around. Did I say hi to Sharon Stewart? How about Kananaskis Country? Welcome, and going up a little bit more. Storm Chaser 1211 also in the house, and Simo Roberts, S. Roberts is also here. Welcome. Glad to have you on board, and he is from down under as well. And then also Videos de Ecologia. Welcome, and saying a quote from and I'm not sure the first name pronunciation there, but where you least expect it. From nothing comes out anyway. Okay, and Eleutherius Baron is the writer of that note. Okay, cool, interesting. Never heard of them, but we'll see what happens, and you never know. That's the one thing about volcanoes. They are unpredictable, and this is something that we have learned very, very quickly, and you can never predict what will happen with a volcano. And it doesn't matter if you're close or far away, you will not be able to predict. Anyway, going up some more. Did I say hi to Henry Nelson? I think so. And going up a little bit more, looking for more. I said hi to Thor already. Let's see, who else we got in here? Looking, Tom Truelove also here. Welcome, Tom. And going up some more. Grandma B is in the house. Welcome, Grandma B. And somebody just super chatted. David Coda, all volcanoes are priming. Wow, I hope so, David. That would be really, really cool. And thank you for that wonderful $9.99 super chat. That's awesome, and good way to start the show off. Appreciate that, and welcome, of course. And let's see. Going up a little bit more, seeing if we see any other names like Echo the Bot, Echo the Bot, Echo the Bot. Welcome, Echo the Bot. And we got Juliet already, got Tom. Going up some more, looking for more here. And got King Colin Deadman, Arliss Scott, welcome. To both of you, and who else have we got in here? Looking, and I think we're OFU Lux from Luxembourg flew in with his little spaceship. Awesome. Brian Perfectibility 999 also here, and going up a little bit more, and I'm up as far as I can go, and that's all I see up top there. Going back to the bottom, Kevin Haynes, did I say your name? If not, I did now. And going up a little bit more here, Connie Tyree also snuck in there, and good to see you. And Billy Bob Joe and Evie Stardust, welcome back, you guys. Glad to have you on board. And I think we're just about good there. So, all right. Yep, let's get on our show today. Anyway, canned lava on the screen, of course, and we'll get rid of that and try to go find some real stuff. Bradley, what? Where is he image from? The image is from Iceland, from the 12th. The 12th of August. And that is the Siggy Fissure up in the northwest corner of Meridalier Valley in Iceland on the Reykjanes Peninsula. It has stopped erupting, though, unfortunately, but this is what we refer to as canned lava. And we're going to get rid of the canned lava, and we're going to go to live scenes and see what we can find. So, anyway, that is what Iceland looks like right now, or actually the city of Reykjavik, capital city, and it looks a little wet and gloomy and foggy and stuff like that. But let's go back a few hours and see what it looked like. And as soon as it gets there, and that was what it was earlier in the day. And you can see they had kind of a bad day there. And wow. Billy Bob Joe, wow, throws in a $5 super chat. Billy Bob Joe, thank you very kindly for that $5 super chat. And then also Thor throws in 50 Danish kroners, if I'm right. Let me get that written down, and DKK and then 50. There we go. That is awesome. Thank you very kindly for your support, you guys. That is awesome. Okay, so looking at this one kind of tells you what the weather was like. I'm going to put that one back on live. Going to pop over to the other one, see how foggy it was in the background. And of course, this one, you can't see the mountains. That's how foggy and yucky it was there, weather-wise, in this part of Iceland, okay? But in the other parts, like over at the Katla area, this is what we had on the camera there. And they moved the camera over a little bit so we can actually see Katla a little bit better. And that is Katla underneath that big dome of ice, and that is very, very cool to be able to see, and it's actually a nice picture. I like that. That was from earlier today, though. That is roughly what, about 9 hours ago, 9 hours and 15 minutes ago. So pretty awesome looking, and we really do like it. And I thought, hey, that's a good view. Fluffy is sleeping. Oh, Fluffy is... Oh, I was going to say, wake up, Fluffy. You're going to miss the show, but you're right there, so you won't miss it. Anyway, awesome. Anyway, yeah, looking pretty good. And in that shot, you can even see a jet flying over Iceland. And that is pretty cool. One way up high there somewhere. Probably headed to Europe. England, perhaps, or Germany, or something like that. You never know where these guys are off to, but always nice. Anyway, that is Katla, and we can actually see it today. Not too many clouds there to bury it, so pretty awesome to see that. Anyway, let's leave looking at those pictures alone, get down to the meat and potatoes, and of course, over to the harmonic tremor chart, and that is the first thing that we want to look at. I'm going to have to refresh it though, because last time I had it on there was a little while ago. Okay, there we go. So for Philadelphia, our favorite area, of course, we're seeing a slight uptick, and you know, on these two, and then of course on our blue, we are seeing it kind of go down again. The indicator here shows some small quakes in the area. You can see the extra spikes, and that is kind of what's going on there right now. So not sure what's going to happen. Now someone kind of mentioned something here, like, you know, you never know when things will happen with volcanoes. And yes, they are always a little bit on the strange side. You never know what will happen. But just want to bring out the facts of the earthquake swarm we had basically here 2 days ago now. That swarm was similar to the swarm we had prior, about a month prior to the Siggy fissure eruption. So this is something, you know, I don't know if we want to call it a prelude to a future eruption, but it has similar attitude or displacement, if you will, to what we were seeing. So we've seen all of those up on the north end of Iceland, and then now we're seeing all this stuff down on the south end. And now I think what is important for us to keep an eye on is everything in between, and especially there on the Reykjanes Peninsula. You never know what will happen. Are there any active eruptions anywhere at the moment? In Iceland, no, but there are active eruptions in some places, and it's always interesting. We'll get to a couple that are kind of going. And Stromboli is still continuing. It is still doing its thing. But also want to bring your attention to Semaru. It was a little bit more active, and we've got some of that, as well as Sakurajima. So and that is in Japan. So Semeru down in Indonesia, and of course Sakurajima in Japan doing its thing. So that's kind of the activity. Anyway, we want to take a look at the rest of Iceland here. Fagradalfjall area, we're seeing this fairly quiet and not doing too much. We're going to take a look at the Grimsey chart, and there's Grimsey, and we're not seeing a heck of a lot there right now. It's not really rising or falling. It's kind of almost what I call steady as she goes, with maybe a little bit of an uptick. Until just now it looks like it's going back down a bit. So this is interesting, and it is calming a little bit in Iceland. We are down to just over 100 earthquakes in the last 24 hours, as opposed to what we were seeing basically 2 days ago, where we were shooting back up over 400, and yesterday it was definitely back down again. Anyway, that is Grimsey up on the north end, and then we'll take a look at Grindavik, and here you can see what the chart looks like for Grindavik, and of course everything off the scale here when we had those basically 2 days ago when we had all those larger quakes in there, and now you only see the occasional one that is really kind of shaking things up on the peninsula, at least on this particular graph right now. Anyway, scrolling this back up to our Fagradalfjall, so we always know where it is, and that is right about there. And we'll carry on with our earthquakes, and that should be there. And you'll have to excuse me, I did have to reboot the computer again this morning, and there are all kinds of issues and things that come along with that, so a lot of time spent redoing the equipment here. Anyway, looking at some of the quakes up in the north end right off the bat. This is Grimsey Island right here, and if we go zoom in on it, there you go, now you can see it. And these quakes are not too far away from Grimsey, and that is what we're seeing in that area. Anyway, this 1.7, 5.2 kilometers down from 1509 today, and 5.4 clicks down, not bad. We're going to check some of these, not all of them, and we don't see anything that's over 3 at all in this area, so they've been a lot quieter than what they were before. This 1.3, 5.4 kilometers down happened at 22:29. That's very recent. Then we've got a 2.1 here that we'll look at, 8.8 kilometers down, 20:42 was the time on him. Then we've got a 1.7, 12.2 kilometers down from 20:45. Looking at some of these other ones, we'll take this 0.5, 5.2 kilometers down was from 4 minutes and 55 seconds after midnight. Let's take a look at this 1.8, 3.5 kilometers down. These are a lot shallower than what we had seen yesterday. Everything was, from 10 to about 15 kilometers down for the most part. This 1.8 is from 21:59, and that is 3.5 clicks down. Let's get off of that. No, I want to zoom in here and get some of these other ones in the middle. 1.9, 10 kilometers down, that's more like it. That's from 2000, and 1.9 in magnitude, 2.2 in magnitude, 10.7 kilometers down for this one. 18:11 was the time on it. 1.6 here, 11.1 kilometers down, 21:58 was the time on him. Another 1.6, 10.4 kilometers down from 22:05. And let's grab another 2.1 here, 8.8 kilometers down, 20:42 was the time on it. And maybe this 1.7, 10.3 kilometers down at 19:35. And that's just as an example or sample of what we're seeing there. There's a bunch more quakes. We're not going to go through each and every one of them, just to show the depth is kind of varying now. So instead of being all fairly deep, These are a little bit shallower. Let's see what these ones are. 5.2 kilometers down for this magnitude 1.1 from 1422. And then we have this 1.5, 10.5 kilometers down, and that was at 1624. And this guy here, 1.4, very shallow, 1.1 kilometers down, and that was at 10:44 a.m. And then we have this guy fairly close to it, 5.3 kilometers down, and that was a 1.2 from 6:38 a.m. Let's slide down a little bit more closer to Iceland's main body. 1.2, 5.2 kilometers down for this 1624 was the time on this 1.2. Let's try this 2.09, and there's that magic number again, 10.005 kilometers down from 12:27 today. And these are all current, so that is actually easier. 0.9, 5.2 kilometers down, 2029 was the time on it. 1.64, and there's the magic number, 10.005 kilometers down at 12:55. And here we got 0.9, and that is a lot shallower, and that is only 1.9 kilometers down, and that came in at 15:03. And welcome to Dave Crook is here. Welcome. Billy Bob Joe. We got Birdie Num. Welcome. And who else? Trevor T. Winky Wonky Donkey. Welcome, Trevor. Glad to have you on board. Looking over here a little bit more, 4.9 clicks down for this magnitude 1.1 from 21:02. And then a much older one, 13 minutes after midnight, 0.57. And again, 10.005. Not sure about that. Anyway, looking at this 0.9 over here on the outcropping or peninsula, whatever you want to call it. 1851 was the time on it, and it was 0.8 of a kilometer down. And then we've got this one, magnitude 1, and it is 6 kilometers down, 21:54. And zooming in a little bit more on some of these other ones, 1.27, 6.9 kilometers down from 1458. And we'll grab just one more here, 5.3 kilometers down for this magnitude 0.8, and it was 1512 on that guy. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of what we've got going on there. Some mixed values as far as the depths are concerned, and it's kind of makes you wonder what the heck is going on, right? Astja, there is Astja, and we are not seeing any volcanoes, any quakes right at Astja. We do see some small tremors over here away from it, but that is pretty normal. 0.97, 4.8 kilometers down from 1613 for him. Really small one, 0.24. And that was at 5.5 kilometers down at 12:32 in time. And let's look at this 0.44, 6.9 kilometers down, and that was 5:41 in the morning. So not a heck of a lot going on in the Astja area. And of course over here, Grimsvatn, where everybody says, hey, it's gonna go, and I kind of, no, not yet. Anyway, we see a 1.09 in magnitude, a 1.1 kilometers down, and that is 1:39 a.m. That's the only one right there. Next one further down here, 1.34, 4.6 kilometers down, 7:39 was the time on it this morning. And we'll take a look at this magnitude 1, 9.8 kilometers down, 16:56 was the time on that guy. So that takes care of our eastern side. Quick look down here at Katla, and that is Katla right here. And of course, this is a magnitude 0.5, and that is 135 meters down from 1349, possibly ice movement or shifting. And then we have another one that is a 1.24, again 135 meters down, and it came in at 5:53 today. So that is what we see there. Going up here to Hecla, and wow, okay, he's got a couple around him, 0.69, 11.003 kilometers down, 15:14 was the time on that one. Then we've got a 0.3, 7.1 kilometers down from 4:55. We've got a 0.42, 135 meters down. Hang on, missed the time, 7:25, there we go. And the biggest one in that area right now, 1.22, and that is 1.442 kilometers down, 5:27 as well. This 0.8 is 135 meters down, 4:54 a.m. on him. So that is kind of interesting, but I still don't see any eruptions yet. Okay. Moving over a little bit more, we see some others here in the middle, 1.25. 5.4 kilometers down from 11:44, and let's see if we can get the other one right beside it. There's two of them. The other one is smaller, 0.96, 5.54 kilometers down for him. 9:42 was the time on that guy. This 0.96 over here, 8 kilometers down, 14:52 was the time on it. And then we have a 0.68, 5.5 kilometers down from 13:11. Moving on towards our Reykjanes Peninsula, and the first one we see here is a lot older than most of them, and that is from 1:56 this morning, 0.19, very small, 6.6 kilometers down. And let's carry on and see what we have in our other areas. So our Fragile Fjall area, of course, is here, this area right in here. So these quakes are associated with that, possibly these as well. Not sure exactly where it would end, but down on the bottom end, but somewhere right around there. These other ones, of course, Krusavik, which is right here. And let's take a look. Very small ones, 0.31, 4.6 kilometers down from 13:47. Then we've got a 0.18, 5.5 kilometers down, 16 minutes after midnight. And then we have this little grouping here, very small, very, very small quakes. And 3.6 kilometers down for a 0.49, 4:58 a.m. Another 0.49, and that came in at 5:02 a.m. and 3.8 kilometers down. And then we've got a very small 0.15, 3.7 kilometers down, 5:03 on the time on that guy, 0.01, and that is 3.2 kilometers down, 5:05 again. And we missed this guy here, 0.29, 4.2 kilometers down from 4:29 in the morning. And that kind of takes care of what's going on at Krusavik. So now let's get into our Ragnar area. And of course, Kilauea being up on the top end of that system, there's Kilauea. And we want to take a look at this guy here. So 3.8 kilometers down, 12:34 was the time on it. Then we see a 1.09, 4.9 kilometers down from 12:56. 13:04, we had a 0.68 at 2.9 kilometers down. And then we move a little further down, and of course our Siggy Fissure would be located right in here. And of course right where this 0.34 is, that would be right underneath Ragnar. But let's look at the other one first, and that is 0.49, 5.4 kilometers down, and 4:27 a.m. For him. And then this one, 3.1 kilometers down, and it's a 0.34 at 12:15, and just about right underneath Ragnar is where I'm placing that, and that is pretty awesome. Let's see what else we got in these other ones. Of course, the town of Grindavik is right here. We'll zoom in. There you go. That's Grindavik. And if we slide up a little bit, this is where the Blue Lagoon is located, and we'll zoom in there just so you kind of get the idea. The wonderful parking lot where we drove through, and smell that odor. And if you don't like rotten eggs, don't go there, okay? Power plant is over here on this side, and it doesn't smell so bad here or on the highway. Trust me on that one. So, yeah, not bad. Anyway, looking at these other ones, we do see this 0.9, 5.7 kilometers down, 1143 on that guy. A smaller one, 0.15, 4.4 kilometers down from 123 is the time on that. And then looking down here makes you wonder what's going on. 1.11, 5.3 kilometers down, 6:24 a.m. Then we've got this little bit fresher one here, 0.58, 5 kilometers down from 1555. And this from 2:36 in the morning, magnitude 0.67, 4.9 kilometers down for him. And we don't see anything directly under Grindavik. We don't see anything directly under the Blue Lagoon, but we do have these three over here, kind of small. Depth is 2.2 kilometers, magnitude 0.34 from 127 this morning. And then we've got a 2.9 there, 2.7. Did we have that one? Yeah, they're the same depth roughly. Almost 2.7 for him, 136 this morning for the 0.29, and this one's slightly bigger, 1.85, 4.5 kilometers down from 724 this morning. And sliding out, these are a little bit fresher, small ones though, 0.5, 5 kilometers down, 2231 for him. And then we've got from 2235, 0.3, 3 kilometers down. Moving on, a very small one, 0.1, 5.6 kilometers down from 2237. Then we see a little bit bigger one here, 1.36, 4.9 kilometers down, and 6:26 this morning. And this one here is from 2302, 0.3 in magnitude, 4.5 kilometers down, and that is what we're seeing there. Now, we're seeing kind of a little bit of a group there, but everything that we had out here has really calmed down. We are still seeing some aftershocks, and that is interesting, but they're not coming any, not hard and heavy like what we were seeing. Let's take a look at this 0.12. Pardon me. 1.1 kilometer down, that's not very far down. And that is at 22:48 for the time. And this other one here, 6.53, 6:53 in the morning, 1.08 and 10.005 kilometers down. Some of these other small ones, I'm not going to worry about them. 1.78, and again, that magic number, 10.005 kilometers down, and that was 11:36 that came in, and we've got a 1.87, again, the same depth, 1616 was the time on it, and then we had one here at 1.94, 34 minutes after midnight, same depth. This other one is a 0.47, same depth, 4:26 this morning, and the 1.3 right there, 3.4 kilometers down, 23:48 at the time on it. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of what we got shaken there in Iceland, and it certainly isn't anything as extravagant as what we were seeing yesterday and the day before. And of course, we see over on our chart here 134 quakes in the last 24 hours, and that is all. So that definitely is a decrease. Thank you for the 2-minute warning, Piggy. And big decrease in what we were seeing, and that is kind of amazing, really. When you one day you got everything shaken, the next day it's almost quiet. And technically, yeah, it is pretty quiet. And prior to those shakes, so prior to the ones that we got 2 days ago here, and we were down to about 50 quakes a day, if not a little bit less. 40 to 60. So when the poor eat a chicken, one of them is sick. Uh-oh. Don't be eating sick chickens. You'll get the bird flu. Cook your chicken well, and then you have no problem. And chicken well done, a steak medium. I prefer my filet mignon medium, and it has to be a true medium, not medium raw. I don't like it when it moves on the plate, okay? Anyway, never mind. That's bad joking. All right, this is the other map. I'm not really going to worry about that. That is up to date, 24 hours. Doesn't show anything big showing up anywhere. We do see those up on the top. I like using this one because we can see down the Reykjanes Ridge a little bit more, and they're not showing anything there. And we're not seeing anything up on the top here to indicate any further quakes right now. So pretty darn cool. Anyway, I'm going to put you back onto, well, I could actually leave you here if you want to watch this, or I can put you on to canned lava. I don't know what you guys prefer. Actually, I think we're going to put canned lava back on. I think that might be better. We like lava. That way you get your lava fix. Joris, welcome. I'm glad to have you on board, as well as Grenzed. And that's it. I need to go take that break. And be good, everyone, and don't go away. I'm your host, DrFox2000, here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. If you're liking the show and you haven't hit that like button yet, our target is well over 100, so go ahead and hit that like button and help us out that way. And that is the easiest and cheapest way to support this stream. Also, if you're new and you have not yet subscribed and you're sitting on the outside wondering, should I go chat to these friendly people or not? And they are all very nice, kind people, and all of them. Hey, Susie is here. Welcome. And you only have to watch out for a couple of them that are kind of mean. Well, let's see. Actually, nobody in here is mean. They're all nice. Yeah, they're all nice. It's all good. Anyway, you guys, be good. And oh, Tom says he's mean. All right, Tom. And but we'll get Pepper to put you back in line if you get too mean. Trotters up. I am mean. Piggy. Piggy. Yeah, Piggy can be mean. All right, you guys. I'm going to go take that break. I'll be back in about 5 minutes or so. Keep smiling, be good, and what the heck is happening to my screen? Oh, never mind. That is old stuff, I think, in there. And let me just make sure that I still have some canned lava there. Oh, yeah, that'll work. Okay, I fixed that problem. I'll throw some music back on for you guys, and I'll be back. Don't go away. And that microphone is back on. Welcome or welcome back, everyone. I'm glad to have you on board. Welcome back, oh lovely Dr. Fox. Why, thank you, Piggy. And I got that email, Piggy. And do you want me to show that, Piggy? And I will, when we do bacon seeds, if you like. I can definitely show that. Anyway, thank you for the welcome backs. From, let's see, Hermione and Sue, and I Can Hear You, from Sharon Stewart, of course, and let's see, who else? David Crook, of course, and I think Tom in there as well, possibly, I think. No, maybe not. But anyway, glad to be back. Okay, that's all good. Let's park our canned lava, and I am going to pause it. Get it? Pause it. Speaking of pause, hey, Daryl R is here. Welcome, Daryl. And anyway, there I paused it. We have a new bunny, or a different bunny, that came in to eat today, and his left paw is all swollen up. Now, I have seen him before in the alley and stuff with Curly, and he hangs around, but he has a very swollen paw, and unfortunately I can't do anything with him because there's no way he'll let me get near him, but he's basically hopping on three. And anyway, I went down, I let him eat in peace, and then, of course, he didn't want to drink the water, so he eats grass to get his moisture. And when I went out there, of course, I didn't go into the Bunnyland area. I just seen him eating the grass. I didn't want to bug him, so I just kind of sat down on the grass outside the fence, and he kept on eating the grass and didn't mind me being there, and I talked to him nicely, and then I guess he finished up, and he was going to go out in the corner there, and he was a little bit apprehensive, but I kept on talking to him, nice tone and everything, and he ends up hopping off. I just didn't want to stress him out and cause him to put pressure or weight on that bad paw, so he didn't take off very quickly, but fast enough to, avoid humans. So hopefully his paw will get better, and we'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks here. And I do remember seeing him a couple days ago, and he was not limping. So this is going to be something that just happened last couple of days. Where he possibly got a cut, or maybe a shard, glass shard, or metal shard or something in there, and hopefully he can get that out. And catching a wild rabbit is a no-go. So even on three paws, he can still outrun this old man by 10 times over. So I'm not going to try, but the progress that, just being out there and talking softly to him builds up a little bit more trust, right? And that's what I try to do, and that's what I've done with all the other ones, and it does take time. What time was this, Dr. Fox? Well, we couldn't see him very well on the camera. I did have the time posted. I don't know exactly when it was, and I can't go back there. Their C&D boy put on 15:09 was the time on the bunny cam. So if you want to go have a look, you can later on. Anyway, let's take you over to our next volcano, and of course that is over at Mount Etna in Sicily, and we'll get over there. Sicily, of course, in the dark right now. It is 1:44 a.m. there, so if we go back, we can take a look at some of the weather and stuff like that was happening, just to give you a general idea. It was fairly hazy and cloudy there. Earlier in the morning, it wasn't quite as bad. This was about 3:20 in the afternoon for them. So not very good visibility or anything like that. Hopefully they're not going to get torrential downpours again and cause more flooding, but that would be it. Does not look broken. No, it didn't look broken. It looked like it was like he may have stepped on something or hurt it that way. And hopefully in the next couple of days it'll help heal up a little bit, and we'll see what happens at Bob. Anyway, we do have a short time lapse from earlier today, and this one was from about 8 a.m. onward to approximately noon. Gives you a little bit more of an idea of what was happening there in a smaller nutshell. And speaking of nutshells, I have not seen the squirrels today. I did hear them, but I have not seen them. And I'm almost thinking that there may be a territorial thing going on here with the two different squirrels. So it's kind of a thing. The one that normally comes and eats, I think he's being chased off by the other one. And the other one doesn't know about the cookies yet, or the nuts, which is going to be interesting. Anyway, there you see Mount Etna. And it definitely was puffing off from the primary vent up top, and you can see a little bit of smoke on the other side, on the right hand side, coming out of the other vent over there. Not seeing a heck of a lot more though, as the cloud built up, and you can see it starts to get a little hazy around 10:30 or so, and it's more cloud building up and getting in there as the day warms up a little bit, and that humidity really starts to come up and out again. And turf wars, yep, you got it. That happens a lot. And anyway, there's where you see the clouds developing, and of course the smoke from the volcano definitely looks like it's increasing. It's got a lot more humidity to deal with, and that's kind of what we were seeing there. So that is Mount Etna for today. As far as looking at the tremor activity and so on, it really hasn't changed a heck of a lot. But anyway, we'll turn that guy back off, and that, like I say, that was at 15:24 this afternoon, that scene right there. And we'll leave that be. We'll head over. I'm going to actually put that back on live. And let's see if we go on this one real quick. No, that ain't going to work. We'll have to go over here and then switch it. There we go. Okay, there's your Stromboli report for today. Stromboli has gone back to pretty much normal. And that is what we're seeing there. Nothing really super active right now. We do see a little bit of a plume there, and not anything major. And the smoke, of course, you can see that on the the clouds I meant. You can see that on the thermal cam here. You can see still where the hot areas are that had some lava flow going down them. I don't know if there's actually flow there anymore, but that is kind of what we had there. And then, of course, the vent. It is still going. It's not stopped by any means, but it is there. So that's kind of interesting. And let's carry on. We'll go over to the Azores real quick. We are on the island of São Jorge, or as they say in Portuguese, São Jorge. São Jorge, if I said it right. And that is what it looks like there right now. So we are on the island, and of course that is the harbor, a little town area, and off over on the other side you can see Pico Island. For those not familiar with it, this is what it looks like during the day, just so you get a little bit more of a grasp. And of course you can see Pico volcano over on the Pico Island, also referred to as Mount Montana on the maps. This is the other shot that we look at, is that cove, and what we typically look for is white water down right at the shore there, to see how rough the ocean is. So we'll turn that guy back off, move over to the other one and see if we can get to it. Whoop, need to be on there. Switch that. There we go. And yeah, some things may not show up right away or be a little bit botched up yet because I had to redo the computer again today. So that's kind of what we're looking at. But you can see quite a bit of white water there. So the tides are a little bit low right now, and you can see a lot of waves crashing. I wouldn't recommend going out with a small boat. Let's take a look and see what we've got there for earthquakes. And we'll make that screen just slightly bigger, and that should work. And on Sao George itself, we see 2 according to this. And there's a 1.7 from 143 this morning. And then we also had this guy here from 7:08 a.m., a 1.5. So nothing really major happening on Sao George. We don't see any over here on Terceira, and nothing on Pico or Fayal or any of the other ones that we can see on this particular map. So let's pop over to the other map. There it is. I want to make that larger as soon as it finishes loading. And one more time, there we go. And there we see the 2 on Sao George. We do see this one here, 2.8 in magnitude, and happened 2 hours and 54 minutes ago according to this. And then just to the northwest of Fayal Island 22 hours ago, a 2.0. And that is what we've got for quakes. Nothing over here on Terceira. And I don't know, nothing. I'm surprised we don't see any more down here. But we'll take a look at the other maps later and see if there was more stuff happening. For those who were wondering, Terceira is this guy here, and that is a fine looking volcano, and if it pops it'll be interesting. The one on Sao George, well, Sao George has got a bunch of different events, and the primary stuff was up in this area. The uplift though was up in this area on that side. So always interesting to see what happens with these. Anyway, we'll zoom back out and leave that guy alone. I'll slide down a little bit, take a look, and depth-wise, the one on the 2.1 in Sao George, 9 kilometers down. Irish Monk, wow, gifted 10 memberships. Irish, I don't know, yeah. Oh, wow, there's a bunch going now. Tom Sawyer, wow, all these, Richard LaPointe, Adele got one, and Free was gifted a membership, and Yvonne Hates, Injustice is also here, and got one as well. Arizona Snowman was gifted one. There you go. And that is awesome. Thank you very kindly. I'm going to write that down though. Irish Monk, and gifted 10. And thank you very kindly, Irish Monk. You're a gentleman and a scholar, and a very old guy. Hope things are well with you. Hope your leg is starting to heal up, and pretty soon you'll be doing more cartwheels right off the roof there, buddy. Thank you kindly. And all right, Morgan, I got one. Yep, that is good. Lucky shot, eh? And that is awesome, and really nice to see. Anyway, we see those 4 quakes right there, and that, of course, the deepest one was under Sao George there, that 2.1 and 9 kilometers down, and that is all she wrote for there. So let's carry on, and actually I'm going to change the order. Typically we go to Popocatépetl first. I'm going to change it a little bit. We're going to go to Semeru first, since Semeru is kind of interesting right now, and it's visible. And I think that is the important part. And of course, that is what we're seeing right now. And I hear that squirrel. I hear that squirrel. Let me get on Samaru as soon as I find where the heck it went. Oh, there at the other end. Okay, got it. So, where's my mouse? Show that mouse. There we go. Got that going too. Anyway, this, of course, on cloud is, you can see it smoking, and that down here coming off of the hot, fresh lava that was actually coming out of this thing. And I thought, well, it's nice to see, but we need to share that with you guys. It is 6:55 a.m. there right now. Here's a little time lapse I made up, though, and that'll help you better understand what was going on. And let's get that guy going. So we do have a little bit of a lava fix there for you. And all right, let's, there we go, got it running. A little bit of cloud in there, but we can live with that. We do see that it was continuing to erupt, throwing out some material, and it was pretty nice to see that. For a change, not in the clouds as much, but it is still in the clouds, and I think partially it's that so much moisture in there. As that lava is coming down, it really starts to steam stuff off. Yeah, Trev, when I go out there, I'll put the bicycle clips on, okay? No worries. And we'll make sure of that. Anyway, so it did continue to erupt for a while, and it continued even after I finished doing the video. It was still going on and doing the same kind of thing, fairly repetitive that way, but kept on throwing bits and chunks out of different locations, and I thought it was kind of nice to see some live bacon, fresh bacon, if you will, and that is a strange membership oink link doesn't work for me. That is odd. What are you trying it in? Sometimes on some of them it doesn't work. You have to go into a browser really to be able to do that rather than use the app. I don't know why, but that is there. Anyway, getting back to the volcano, it was nice to see some extra material coming out of there, and we really did enjoy watching that. So I want to go back and we'll see what we can see there a little bit earlier, and this is about 4 hours ago. This would be just beyond the time of that video, and there you can see some of that lava coming out. Really nice to be able to see that. That's pretty cool, pretty amazing. And lava bombs, kind of nice. I like them. Glow, lava glow, and that is those got to be sizable chunks of lava coming out of there as well. So that is pretty cool. Gren Zed, welcome, by the way, as well as Frank McLeod. Good to see you. Anyway, yeah, that is what we were seeing earlier, and there was a few more of those. As I said, it kept on doing that during the course of the night for them. And here's another one where actually we'll go back. There we go. You can see that lava going. Is that moving forward? Yeah, very slow though. And it is kind of nice to see that. Anyway, I'm putting it back on live. There we go. You can see that it is got all kinds of steam happening coming off that area. So steam / smoke because of the amounts of rain they had there. And I think there's a lot of water still sitting there. It's all going to turn into steam and evaporate with that hot material hitting it. And on that friendly note, I see people putting up the Pepsis and Pop It and Pepsis and everything. It's time for a break, you guys. So For those good people who are here, please, if you have not yet hit that like button, help us out. Our target is well over 100. So let's see if we can get that over that 100 mark. Hey, Mark the Shark is here. Welcome. And anyway, it is time for me to take that break. If you're not subscribed yet, please do consider subscribing if you feel that we've earned it, and we'll go from there. So don't go anywhere. We'll be bringing those bacon seeds to you when we come back from the break, and then we will continue on with our volcanoes. So don't go away. Keep smiling and play nice in the lava. I don't know where I want to put you yet here. If can lava, or do you want to watch this? Hang on. Let me take a look and see if maybe Old Faithful is working. That shot is back, by the way. And I don't know if Old Faithful is going to kick anything out, but we do have the feedback, which is really nice that they got it working again. No, they just switched it to one of the other geysers. Okay, I'll be back, you guys, and we'll get you on some canned lava for now, and go from there, unless Old Faithful, oh, maybe it is. Hang on. Old Faithful. Old Faithful is, it's time, so let's leave it on there. I'll go take that break. Don't go away. I'll be back. right, there we go. Microphone is back on. Welcome or welcome back, everyone. I'm glad to have you all on board, and welcome back, Mr. Foxy Loxy. Thanks, Biggie, and thank you, Sue. And I hear you from Sharon Stewart, and B-Mat saying 5x5, and Kevin Haynes saying welcome back, and same as Sasha. And awesome, you guys. Thank you very kindly from all of you. And glad to be back. And B-Mad is anxious. He wants bacon seeds. So let's do that. We'll skip the old faithful doing its thing, right? And Dave Crook saying hi as well. Thanks, Dave. And glad that you're on board. Okay, so yep, nice to see Old Faithful still working away, and no snow there yet, which is really a surprise, but that is all good. What are we blowing up today? Yeah, just some super volcanoes, David, and nothing to worry about. Just relax. You're far enough away, you won't notice anything. Anyway, over to the bacon seeds, and of course, if you don't like them, this guy will tell you exactly what we mean. Anyway, that was the last one from yesterday, so let's get to the first one from today, and that is this little one, and this indeed is a smiling little bacon seed. And I saw that this was, well, when I was a kid. Oh, you saw it when you were a kid. Cool. That is awesome. And yep, it's still going. And now you're an old kid, and you're still seeing it, and which is really amazing. Anyway, nice little bacon seed. I want to hug them too. Next one, these guys are a little bit more porkish, but they're a little shy, but still smirky. And you can see those nice smiles, and you could walk right up to it. Yeah, not anymore. They chase you away, along with the buffaloes. Yeah. Anyway, next, beautiful bacon seeds, eh? And they're quiet. He's sleeping. He's got his eyes closed. He's dreaming about eating pumpkins. And a nice smile on his face while he's doing his little napping. And that is just absolutely wonderful to see. Sleeping on a cloud. There you go. And welcome, Sarah, by the way. Yeah, very, very quiet. And that way we won't miss any. And like that little guy. And here's another one who's a little bit on the sleepy side, and he's actually on the couch on some blankets, and he too is having a little bit of a snooze. He was watching, yeah, he's dreaming about bacon and eggs. Uh-oh. I don't know about that one, but okay. Anyway, our last little bacon seed for today is this guy. And I don't know what he's looking at, but definitely looks fuzzy and not malnourished or anything like that. So I love that. Nice to see that the little ones are kind of porky, and that's a human. That's a human. No, a couch, Dr. Fox. Okay. Oh, okay. Could be. But that's our last bacon seed, and then we have a couple extra shots here of more like Halloween stuff, and there we go. And there's one of the carvings, and I thought that was a really, really neat carving, a Snoopy type carving. That must take a long time to do, and very, very awesome show the way they did that carving. Gotta love it. So there's some talented people out there, and I know I could never do anything like that. But yeah, it is awesome. And of course, getting back into our pigs, there's Pig Dracula, and of course, have a fun this Halloween. Yeah, have fun this Halloween, but please and then they've got the little penny down on the bottom, and throw some stuff in for UNICEF, I think is what that is about. But yeah, Pig Dracula. Pig Dracula is an interesting creature. They come out at night, and they will bite you if you had bacon. Apparently. So that's it for our bacon seeds for today. And we'll carry on with going to back to some of the volcano stuff. So, and let's take a look and see what we can find at Popocatépetl in Mexico. And what we got? Oh, yeah, of course, volcano gray. What a nice color, eh? Let's back up a bunch of hours and see if we can find what is underneath all that cloud. And you're not going to like this. I know I didn't like it when I looked at it. And let's see. Ooh, what's that white stuff? Somebody sprinkled sugar all over that mountain. No, hang on, that's not sugar. It starts with S, though, and we don't like it. And yeah. Oh, I was going to show that other picture. Let me go back there for a second. I do want to show that. So give me a few seconds here. I got to save that picture. And I did save it. Never mind. I did save it. I was working on it. I was actually going to try to crop it a little bit so it shows up as a little bigger, but I'll show it the way it is. That'll work. Let me pop back to this screen here for a second, and we'll add it to the screen, and we'll get. Oh, wrong place. There we go. And get down to the bottom and find it real quick. And there, this one. So this is what they sent to Piggy. And that is a little cute. Kind of hard to tell. That's why I wanted to be able to zoom in a little bit and see. But that looks pretty nice and very awesome. And your friend made that for you, Piggy. That is very kind of your friend to do that. And pretty awesome. Okay, and yeah. Arizona snowman, as predicted. And okay, never mind that comment. That is just something else. Anyway, very, okay, I cried when I opened it. Aw, Piggy. Yeah, it would be very sentimental and emotional, so we can understand that. And definitely thank you for sharing that with us, Piggy. That is awesome. Okay. And let's get back to our volcanoes, though. And we were looking at the snow-covered Popocatépetl, and it's on my PC. Welcome, and yeah. Oh, that's the your PC in the background there. We've seen that, Piggy. Anyway, so Popocatépetl, of course, covered in white, fluffy, powdery snow, and we were not able to see a heck of a lot of it coming out of that snow earlier today. And volcano gray or cloud gray seemed to be the very good color of what we were experiencing. And I'm just trying to find, there was a spot here where we could almost see it, and it was right there on the other view. And definitely still there, but not the greatest shot when you've got the clouds in the way, unfortunately. So that is what we've got, and all good. And let's take a look there at this one, and if this is live, yep, that is live. Why is that not moving? Hang on. Let me try refreshing that and see if there's something wrong with our feed or their feed. And yeah, clock's working now. And of course, that is Fuego in Guatemala. And the candle is lit, and that is what we're seeing. And we have a horse or a dog or something coming in on this side here, coming to get it. So looks pretty cool. I don't know. Pareidolia, you know how that goes. Awesome. Anyway, that is kind of what we're seeing right now. If we back up a little bit, and we did see it in the area here where it was going to have the sun setting, a little bit more of a color to it, and that was the sunset time. But the clouds were such that you couldn't see a heck of a lot in the background there, and there we go. Again, very cloudy conditions, unfortunately, and they of course have those storms going through, and not a heck of a lot we can do, but I'm glad that we can still see it earlier this morning. And I'm going to just advance this 5 seconds at a time so you can see what kind of an eruption was happening there. This was at 6:35 this morning, their time, of course, in Guatemala. And for those who are not familiar with this is Fuego, and or Crelosa Fuego, if you want to call it that. And Creosa volcano, and a few more puffs come out of there, multiple shots. So pretty awesome to see that. Anyway, that is kind of what we were seeing there, and that is not bad at all. Then of course it kept on going for a little while. Hang on, there was a bigger eruption a little further on, and I think that might be somewhere around here. Yeah, 703. That is looking like it's throwing out a lot more material, and of course that kind of dissipated as well. And you know, rinse and repeat a few times, and we see all kinds of devilish designs coming out of there. And of course this volcano being 12,340 some feet, it is very tall, and of course way up in the clouds most of the time, so sometimes very, very difficult to see that. Here's another small eruption, as you can see it pluming upward and out. I'd love to see this thing at nighttime. I really would. On a clear night, that would be an awesome thing to be able to film at night in color. And I think it would be a heck of a show from that volcano. Here's another shot where it was a little bit more explosive, and there you can see it billowing up a little bit faster. And of course, when it's moving faster like this with the pyroclasts in there, you know, you've got all kinds of tephra and ash, dust, water vapor, etc., etc. And if it is a high velocity ejection, you end up getting volcanic lightning built up. So pretty cool. But anyway, that is kind of what it looked like there. And then of course our clouds came in a couple hours later, and we ended up back in this color. So that's no good. Let's see what these other ones look like right now. And really too dark to be able to see anything there. I should have captured those shots from earlier. It's always a little bit difficult. Anyway, that is our Fuego and Central American areas. Let's go back over to Merapi, and we'll take a look at Merapi. We already had a look at Semeru, so it's busy erupting, doing its thing. And let's have a look and see if Merapi will make us happy by showing us a little bit of bacon as well. And I don't think it will, backing up a little bit time-wise. And there we go. 4:46 in the morning. I'm not seeing any bacon on either one of the viewable cameras there. If we go back a little bit more, seems to be in the clouds for the most part. Then we get about 6.5 hours, 7 hours ago. It was not so much in the clouds, but you can still see a plume coming off the top, but really nothing showing any signs of lava or bacon coming down the side of the hill, unfortunately. There was a little spot right there, and I'm just going to back that up a little bit more and see if we see more of that. Right about here, a little bit more of a glow to it, and prior to that I think it was in the clouds, so a little bit more difficult to try to ascertain what's really going on there. And anyway, that puts it back in the clouds. Not sure. I'll leave it at that though for right now. Let's pop over to New Zealand, and of course we're going to look at Ruapehu, or see if we can see it at all today. And it had broken clouds. Yeah, I'm not going to see it. Irish Monk, I ordered rain. Well, sir, I sent the rain over there to you. I hope you're getting it, and thank you very kindly for that wonderful super chat, Irish Monk, of $11.99 for the rain, and really do appreciate that. I'll get that weather machine working right away, and we'll send you more rain, that is. And make sure your sheep stay dry, okay? That is important. Anyway, the weather earlier there, of course, in New Zealand was that kind of thing, cloudy. And let's back up a little bit more, see if we can see it at all here. No, clouds just didn't do us any favors today. So, yeah, that's kind of it. And unfortunately, we can't change that. So let's put that back to live. This is what it looks like there right now, just about 1:30 in the afternoon. And they've got a lot of overcast and probably rain coming down. Looking at these, I think it would be raining in some of those areas. Anyway, very awesome. And let's carry on. Next volcano on our list. There we go. And we are looking at the crater of... let me get over here. Sakurajima. Why is that on that shot? Oh, hang on. I know why that's on that shot. It's on that shot because you're not supposed to see that yet. Hey, don't show him the lava net. What are you doing, Trevor? Okay, never mind. Anyway, there is Sakurajima, and as you can see, it is smoking a bit and not doing too much. Let's check. Ice cream boat incoming. And yep, our ice cream boat is definitely about to dock, so we'll have lots of time to go down and get some ice cream, and that'll be all cool, and you'll enjoy that, of course. And let's take a look at the little capture I did today. And this was a little bit more interesting, I think, and we'll let that play, and you guys can have a look at that. Now, this is actually running at 2 times speed, so it is doubled in speed, but that is one of the plumes that came out. So thanks, Kevin Haynes, for the 3-minute warning. And yeah, that is a little bit faster than normal, double the speed, but still, to get the point across, it was actually a very fast eruption that when it shot out of there, and I would consider it explosive in that sense, although it did not bring out a lot of lava or anything like that at that point in time, but still quite a shot. And I also have the longer range camera on there, or the medium one, if you will. And of course, this is the close-up shot of Sakurajima's crater, and there's the other one, and it gives you a little bit more of an idea of what it was like. And yes, that is just 2 times a regular speed. So that did shoot up quite a bit and very quickly, and I don't think anybody would have wanted to be anywhere near it when it was doing that. And again, this is what I was going to mention about the pyroclastic outburst like that, where you could possibly see volcanic lightning with having all that tephra and water vapor and whatever else chemicals are in there. Of course, as the stuff shoots out, those particles collide and they polarize themselves, and then all of a sudden you get a big spark, right? So very simple, very straightforward as far as physics is concerned, and that is what we've got. Anyway, that was just a short little video that I had thrown in there to kind of make things happen. I see the ice cream boat is swinging around and getting ready to dock, so that is all cool. But on that note, let's head over to our next volcano really quickly, and since we only got a minute before the break, and whoop, I want to click on this one, and there we go. Clouds coming in, and looks like it's going to start raining there or something. We were able to see a little bit earlier, but not the best. Going back about an hour ago, that's what it was. Where's my volcano? How about there? We'll go there. Anyway, this actually does show you the plume that is coming off of there right now, or was anyway, about 2.5 hours ago, and that's kind of what we were seeing. But because of the sunrise and a very hazy, I guess, evaporation happening, and you get foggy, hazy mornings. But we can definitely still tell that was off-gassing fairly good. And let's see, even in the about 3 hours ago, that was, you can still see that. So right now, too hazy to really see anything though, and we'll get it back to what it is now. There we go, and gets a cart ready to zoom down. And I am going to put it back on some canned lava here for the time being. I'm just going to double check, make sure that canned lava still got a little bit left. Yep, 16 minutes left in here. And I am going to go take that break. So I see we are at 94 likes. Let's see if we can get that pushed over that 100 mark, and that would really, really be awesome, and I would really be happy. Also, if you're new and you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please do consider subscribing. That would be really cool, and hopefully you think that I've earned that. And on that friendly note, don't go away. I'm your host, DrFox2000. I'll be back after the break, and keep smiling and play nice in the lava. I'll be back. there we go. I'm back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, DrFox2000, and you're watching VolcanoX live stream. Anyway, where were we? We were looking at volcanoes. I think we have to go to Hawaii now. And thank you, Sharon Stewart, saying I hear you, and thanks, Sue, for the welcome back. And I think a Piggy might be falling asleep as well, since even Poppet only opened one eye when I whispered, and that is all good. Anyway, looking at what we've got on the screen there, that is, of course, the lava pond in Kilauea's crater. Thank you for the welcome back, Kevin. And anyway, Kilauea, get on the right screen. There we go. And of course, this end over here is where the lava comes in, where the lava tube is, and it flows in different patterns, of course. And as things crust over, it creates new flows that kind of crust over on the top. It's kind of mixing together. Anyway, you see the lighter areas here. Of course, that is caused by drain points down below underneath that we don't know where it's actually going, whether it's going back into a magma chamber or into other places. No idea. But anyway, that lava, as it is draining out, the gas bubbles, of course, are popping back up and breaking the surface of that light crusted material on top. It's kind of breaking up, and then we see what's going on there. So that is what we're experiencing with those lighter areas. Anyway, we'll refresh that, take a look at what it looks like right now. And there it is. And of course, still not gaining any depth here. Maybe up a little bit, but not very much. Definitely see this area is doing its bubbling as usual. And somewhere down there has got to be a drain area. There's our toe area, as we call it, and can't see too much, but we do see a little bit of a spot there, so maybe we do have some flow going into that toe area, but not a heck of a lot. And again, you can see down at this end, this is where that lava is flowing in and starting to crust over. So pretty awesome. Anyway, that is the toe area there, and the lava pond in Kilauea's crater. Next picture, of course, is when's that one from? Oh, that is a current picture. How come it refreshed? I guess it didn't like me trying to save it. Anyway, you can see the primary vent right here. The little hornito is right there, and the lava tube is, of course, buried underneath. We do still see this smoker over here doing its thing, and still a lot of smoke coming off the wall here, and making me wonder what the heck is going on. We also see these spots in the back here, and we know that there's gas going up inside, heating up those areas, and eventually that's going to fall into the crater and into the rest of the caldera, and that'll be pretty interesting to see. Anyway, let's go to a shot from this side, and we'll see what that one looks like. And that is the current picture, and there you can see the primary vent from the opposite side, that extra smoker there, the lava pond, of course. And of course you can see Pig Island here, but the whole area up here, that darkened area that you see, is actually kind of floating on top of the magma that's underneath it. So pretty cool, but it is a smoky picture there. You can see that smoke that's coming up right here. That was from the other one where I keep saying that's going to fall in, and it will eventually, but you never know how long it can take. Anyway, quick shot at the thermal. There is the up-to-date thermal, and you can see the little hornito there, and of course the lava tube you're not going to see because it is underneath, and a primary vent is there, a lava pond toe area, and very hard to see anything else in the outskirts of this right now. And I think it's due to a lot of that smoke being there, but you do see some lighter patches, and of course, and that is telling you some of that heat is coming through, and that there is hot lava underneath there. And since we had a look at that, let's go take a look at the other one here. This is Mauna Loa, and that is the caldera of Mauna Loa, and we don't see anything popping out of there right now. Of course, that is one huge area, and as we mentioned before, if that ever goes, my God, look out. That is just one huge caldera. Hopefully we're not going to see any issues or problems in the future with that, but it is destined to erupt at some point in time. So, you know, we always got to keep an eye on it and see what happens. Popping over to our earthquakes, we'll take a look at the Hawaiian earthquakes real quick, and we'll zoom in on the Hawaiian Islands. And there you can see the entire Hawaiian island chain. And of course, our interest is the big island of Hawaii. We don't see any quakes on Maui or Honolulu, or sorry, Oahu, or anything like that. So let's zoom in here and see what we've got. First off, in the Pahala area, which is, there's Pahala right there, but that's what they call it. And not as many quakes there today as what we had before, so it is calming down a little bit, but you never know. Anyway, 1.7 is this guy. By the way, Pahala area, most of them are between about 26 and 37 kilometers down, so I'm not going to mention the depths right now, so we'll just go through them. Anyway, from 11:14 is when this 1.7 came in. This one 2.1 from 3:30 a.m. Then we have 2.3 from 14:48, and going over we see a 1.9 from 13:03, and then we've got a 2.0 from 10:29, and going over a little bit, grabbing this guy 2.0 from 9:36. This latest one here, 2.4 from 1834, and then this guy, 2.2 and 7:29 a.m. This one, 2.2, 1436, and that one is actually very shallow, and that is not so deep. Looking at the that one, that's 100 meters above sea level. And you got to remember, this area already is raised up a lot more than 100 meters above sea level. You probably have about 500-600 meters right there. So that's got quite a ways to go before it gets to the surface. Looking at this guy here, 2.2, 1604 for him. Let's not forget this guy out in the water here. 11:25 was the time on this 1.5. And then we got him. Let's grab the new one, and that is 1.8 from 1754, and then we also have this guy here, and a 1.9 from what was it, 1355. We'll grab this guy over here so we don't forget him. 2.2 from 4:40 a.m. And let's go up on top of Mauna Loa and see how many quakes there are there. Actually, we'll zoom out and double check and see if there's anything on Mauna Kea. Nothing at all. Only one right there in the caldera today, and that is 800 meters above sea level. Actually happened yesterday at 2034. So we're not seeing anything super new there. And let's see what this one is. 1.7, 5 kilometer, 0.5 or 500 meters below sea level. And that was from 9:23 a.m. And looking at our Kilauea, we only have this guy here, 0.6, 5:05 a.m. 1.9 kilometers below sea level, and nothing else right in Kilauea. And let's grab these other ones here. 1.8 from yesterday at 22:22, 3.6 kilometers below sea level. 1.9 here from today at 1 minute after midnight, 4.3 kilometers below sea level. Then we have this guy 1.8, and that is 4.4 kilometers down from yesterday. 21:36 is the time on that, and we see this little guy here 0.8 from 11:37, 10.6 kilometers down. And that gives you a pretty good idea of what was going on in Hawaii today. So eased up a whole bunch. And good evening, Brian Rock Rail fan. Nice to have you on board. Anyway, zooming out, looking for other earthquakes. Mid-Atlantic Ridge, seeing 4.6. Raken's Ridge area, that is that same place. Maybe we will see some real estate there yet. And we'll see what happens, and that is that area where we think it might create a new land or something. We'll see what the future brings. Anyway, we do see here 4.7 in Colombia from 1:17 a.m. 163.6 kilometers down. Then we have this guy here, Central. They call it Central America. It's more or less off the coast of Panama, and 5.5 kilometers down. Was yesterday's at 1924. 10 kilometers down, 4.5 in magnitude. My bad, 10 kilometers down. Why did I say 5.5? Anyway, looking over here in Bolivia, 4.4 at 1620 was this guy, and 144.7 kilometers down for him. We'll grab this bigger one here, 5.0 in Chile, 1:35 a.m., 47.4 kilometers down for him. And then he had a small friend from yesterday at 22:57, 123 kilometers down, and that was a 4.2. Sliding over a little bit more into our New Zealand theater area there, and the Kermadec Ridge, and the other subduction area, of course, Fiji area, 4.8, happened at 12:01 their time, 4:10 a.m. or just about 410 kilometers down. Boy, I'm messing this up, eh? Yeah. Almost time for a break, I think. Anyway, 411 kilometers down, and Fiji. All right, another one in Fiji, 4.2. And that is from 22:40 yesterday, 602 kilometers down. And then we have Vanuatu, 4.3. That was 242 kilometers down from 6:54 a.m. And oh boy, I hear magpies going crazy out there. Something probably stalking them. And there's a lot of them out there, so they'll take care of business. Banda Sea area, 5.05, 46 a.m., 459.3 kilometers down, and there. And then we see this 4.6 from 11:14, and we have 78.4 kilometers down for him. 4.0 Philippines, and 15:19 was the time on that. 387.7 kilometers down for that guy. And sliding up, we don't see anything in Japan today, nothing in Taiwan, so they get the rest a little bit easier. Kamchatka Peninsula had a 4.6, and that is 31.6 kilometers down, happened at 16:20. And then here on the Aleutian Islands, we had a 4.4, and that's 31 kilometers down. 11:33 was the time on that guy. Some little ones scattered along the Aleutian Islands as well. 3.3 here, 7:41 a.m. their time, 10 kilometers down for him. And let's take a look and see what else we can find real quick here. Tajikistan, and that is 4.2. And that happened at 7:43 at their time in the morning, and 127.8 kilometers down. And looking at this one, 4.0 in Turkey, That was yesterday's at 21:31, 10 kilometers down. And Piggy, I don't know if you would have felt that one, 4.2, and that is also in Turkey. Would have been from 4:27 a.m. Your time, and that is actually fairly close to Kos. So Kos is here. Piggy lives right there, and that is where that quake was. So just wondering if you felt anything, if you're still awake, Piggy, listening to my voice. Or I'll have to whisper and pop it up to wake you up, and we'll see. I'm kidding. I won't wake her up. I'll let her sleep. Next area that we want to go have a look at, we already took a look at the Azores, but we want to have a look at our Canary Islands, see how they're doing today. And I am going to refresh that again since we need to do that. There we go. I want to see if there's anything further up and out. I don't see anything up in the top fault area up here, so that is all good for now. But we do see a star flashing right on La Palma, and there we go, and that is 1.5 from 12:30, and that is today's, of course. And when is that 1.5? Oh, a surface quake. Pardon me. And of course that could be right in the areas where we had lava flow, and possibly something being fixed there. They have been using dynamite to do some blasting to get rid of some of the big rocks and stuff like that. So alpine foil from last week, small movements are welcome. Okay, Gren said. Yeah, if you want to take a look at the other map there, of course, that is EMEQ as the shortcut, and that one depicts some of those smaller ones in that area a little bit nicer. Anyway, that's kind of what we see there today. Wanted to zoom in on a couple of these. Let's see how big these are. 18th actually had, yeah, they're all from the 18th here. Looking at what we've got, at least a few of them, 8 kilometers down for the 0.9 from 8 minutes after midnight. 44 minutes after midnight, we had that 0.5, 7 kilometers down for him. And then 1.1, 47 minutes after midnight, 11 kilometers down, and that 0.5 from 1:13 a.m., 3 kilometers down, and that is right next to where that star is. And that may be just some weight on there because of the lava flows and stuff, causing the ground to settle a little bit more. You never know. Anyway, that is kind of what we've got going on there. Quick peek at the volcano map, and we'll refresh that real fast and see what we've got going on there. I don't think there was a heck of a lot of new volcanoes popping up, but this will run through ours anyway. So we got Astja and Grimsvatn there in Iceland. They're showing that 4.6. Sail George and Terceira, they're in the Azores. Michael volcano down here in South Sandwich Islands. And looking in at our ring of fire, I don't see anything really changing here at all. And still seeing Fernandina out here in the Galapagos as a yellow, always activity there. Nothing new in that section. Looking here in the New Zealand area, Taupo is still quiet and yellow. A White Isle volcano, of course, still doing its thing, off-gassing very heavily, and continuing. Tofua and Home Reef volcano. I'm still waiting for some updates on Home Reef volcano. Want to see how much more land it created, and see if we can sell a few more acres there. That would be nice. Anyway, we also see Vanuatu still doing its thing. Same thing with what we have in the Papua New Guinea area. Luolatok there, and then Raung and Samaru, of course, and Merapi and Krakatau are still all red there doing their thing. Barren Island volcano still considered an orange, and Ibu and Dakono are still working away, and Can Leon still there as a yellow. Bulasan, which they re-added not too long ago as a yellow, and then of course Mayon is still there as well, and Taal still being an orange. Still no difference at Nishimoshima, and that is in Japan, and then of course Suwanoshi-jima, which we still don't have any cameras on it, and Sakura-jima, of course we already watched that, so that is there. And our three musketeers here, Chikarachi, Ibiko, and Alade, sitting there on their own little islands. Well, actually, Ibiko and Chikarachi are on their own. Alade is on a separate island, and that's all right. And then, of course, on the peninsula there, Kamchatka Peninsula, you got Karibsky, Bezyamiani, and Chevalish doing what they need to do. So nothing new there. Quick peek down below. I got to zoom out a little bit. There we go. And down on the bottom, Erebus still showing, and Heard Island volcano definitely still there, and Piton and Del La Formes volcano, and that is in La Reunion Island. And of course, then we've got the other ones that are pretty standard there. Urta Ale still a red, doing its thing, and of course Etna Volcano and Stromboli in our Sicily theater, which is, well, Sicily, Italy, and that is kind of what we're looking at there. So pretty normal, and nothing really outrageous. I just want to check this map here for a second. Going to refresh this one and see if it shows anything more there quake-wise for around Piggy's area. And that whole area has got some shakers going on. So Piggy may have felt some of them. 3.5 there, 3.0, 4.2. That 4.2 she probably felt. But I don't know. The other ones may not be strong enough to rumble the island of Kos, and Piggy is about here on the island of Kos. So that's kind of what we got there, and it does look like it is about break time. And what we will do is after the break, of course, we'll go over and do our weather, and we'll work on that. I'm actually going to refresh these just so we have fresh maps, and some funky designs in there today, I'll tell you. Interesting stuff. Anyway, I'm going to put you back on some canned lava, you guys, and hopefully there's enough in that can. No, I'm going to actually back that up. There we go. I'll leave it there, and that'll play, and I see we made it over that 100 mark. That is excellent. So thank you, everyone, for hitting that like button. Really do appreciate it. And that is awesome. And when we come back from our break, I will go through our wonderful SO2 map, and then we'll also hit the weather and see how things are and wrap her up for today. So hang in there, and we'll be back after the break. And don't go away. Keep smiling. And those good people who haven't yet hit that like button, if there's some of you out there, by all means, give it a shot. Also, if you have not yet subscribed and you're liking the show, by all means, hit that subscribe button if you feel we've earned it. On that point, I will say I'm your host, DrFox2000. I'll be back in 5 or 6 minutes or thereabouts. Don't go away. Thanks. I am back. Welcome or welcome back. And Neil here, Thomas Neil. Welcome. I'm glad to have you on board. And thank you everyone for sticking around. And thanks there, Kevin Haynes and Sue Hayes and Sharon Sturt says, I hear you, all good. And Robert Ferry and Sasha also saying, welcome back. Well, actually, Robert says hi, Doc, but that's okay. Anyway, looking at what we're doing here, of course, we're going to go over the SO2 chart and or maps and taking a look at what it looks like right now around the world. And we'll keep this one really, really quick, I think. Seeing this plume here, of course, that was some of that stuff that was coming from China and those areas, and continuing to linger and hang around. And I'm sure that we are getting some of that would have been from the Kamchatka Peninsula as well. And it is a pretty neat looking swirl. And as you can notice, and there's a couple spots here, like this area in here, that's where the rain is happening and taking the SO2 out. Same thing within the middle here. They've got rain or snow, and that is taking the SO2 out of that atmosphere and dropping it down into the ocean, and that is what we see. Anyway, going down real quick, we see here in Mexico, still kind of a mixed bag, and with they too have a spot there, likely thunderstorms or rainstorms in that area, and some of that is drifting back out into the Gulf of Mexico. And looking down here, a lot of that is lingering because of the way it's being kind of conformed with the swirling of the air patterns. So our stuff coming from Colombia as well as Ecuador is just kind of sitting there in that corner of the world. Anyway, sliding down a little bit more, we see another system right here, so likely some rain happening there, and some of that, again, it's changing directions from what we normally see. Normally we've seen everything blowing over into the Atlantic from Chile, but now it's kind of sitting out on their coast a little bit. We are seeing more of these leftover funky patterns all the way down to the Antarctic continent, which is pretty cool. And White Isle volcano, of course, north end of New Zealand on its own little island doing its thing. And we are seeing this circulation here. We got two circulations, a high and a low, and they're battling each other. And of course Melbourne, that would be Leo's area, and Leo was his work hours won't allow him to be in here, so right now he's out doing work. He's working for a living, the guy. And of course, looking at what we see here north of Sydney, still the coking plants and stuff like that going on. And not seeing too much coming from Tofua, and it's kind of hanging around too. And this stuff from Vanuatu area doing its thing, pretty normal in Papua New Guinea, and kind of the same thing goes for Java. And we can see where Semeru, Merapi, and Krakatau, as well as Jakarta, that are producing in those areas there. Luolatok and Luolatok is down here. Ibu and Dakono are doing their thing up here. And of course, you've seen yesterday we had a whole bunch of SO2 here, and that is all kind of moved over. And there's some rain happening, getting cleaned out there, but hopefully it won't get as bad anymore. After this, a little bit easier. We'll see what happens. Taiwan's still producing quite a bit of SO2, and we see the stuff coming out of Suwanoshi-jima as well as Sakura-jima still continuing and adding to the SO2 levels there. Kamchatka Peninsula, you've seen that swirl, and that is pretty awesome looking. And we'll slide over Not seeing too much coming from the deep south, and nothing to cause it there. And of course, South Africa, the gold smelting plants, etc., right in that area doing that. A couple of volcanoes right there in DR Congo producing that. Urta Ale is making this little plume, and of course this and these over here, as well as this, is all caused by oil refineries, and that's what we're seeing there in Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Iran, and those areas. We see that plume has moved off a little bit and gone south in the Mediterranean from looking at that circulation pattern there, and then of course you can see that would be coming from Mount Etna, as well as Stromboli, who's gone a little bit more quiet on us, and then of course Volcano is adding to it. Other areas here, industrial stuff, not bad in most of Europe, and I'll leave that be. And we don't see a heck of a lot coming out of Iceland. Let's get over to our weather map. I do have to refresh this one, and we'll see what we've got there, since that was still from 7 a.m. And let's do this fairly quickly as well. Cold up in the north, you see these Arctic lows sitting there, and of course that is churning that cold temperature around a whole bunch. You see here in, wow, let's look at Alaska first. You see that? They're probably getting a bunch of nasty weather on the coast, and that though is helping draw up some warmer air, so hopefully it'll be a little bit more comfortable there for them. Out on the British Columbia, not too bad, all things considered. At the time of the year, it's actually quite warm. Same thing goes for Alberta, and we're having a lovely day today, so really surprised. Half of Saskatchewan looks pretty warm as well. Then as soon as you get over into the Manitoba area, it starts to cool down a whole bunch. Same thing with northern Ontario, quite cold. And then you've got that system sitting around the Great Lakes, and that is causing all kinds of stuff as far as cold temperatures being drawn down from Quebec and the Hudson's Bay area. Looking at what we see out east though, Montreal still fairly cold in the cold area. Pardon me. Then we get into New Brunswick. We can see New Brunswick and Maine, and even here in Nova Scotia, most of it is still holding fairly warm. So Sue's probably got some warm temperatures yet, around 15 degrees or something like that in her area. We get out into Newfoundland though, we start to drop to single digits for the most part, unless you're down on the south end. Labrador, Newfoundland area, of course, a lot cooler. And let's slide over to the western Van Gogh painting. Van Gogh. Cargo Van Gogh. All right, helicopter go. Western United States looking very nice temperature-wise, and we're seeing some of those really good temperatures. Sue's Place, 14 degrees Celsius. That's awesome. And anyway, California showing wonderful temperatures, probably about 33, 34 in Death Valley. We'll see that in a second. Sue is bringing that up. There we go, 33 degrees there, and a little bit more bearable, not that 40 plus temperature type stuff. Looking at Phoenix, showing 27 here. I'm not sure if that would be right, but very close to it anyway. We'll bring that up and see. And zooming out a little bit and looking at New Mexico, a little bit cooler in the higher elevations, of course, but all in all, still not that bad. It says 28 for Phoenix, so the map is off by a little bit, but not that bad. Weather guessers are kind of the way they are. A lot cooler though in Texas, down to the high teens for the most part, middle teens, low teens up in the northern area. Pardon me. And of course, that cold is infiltrating all the way down here, all the way down, right down to the Gulf. And that is making things a lot cooler in places where they normally have very, very warm temperatures. Alabama, single digits, that's kind of wow. And climate is changing. And, Mississippi and those areas, Louisiana, Arkansas, a little bit cooler. Tennessee does see snow once in a while, but especially up in the Appalachians here. So doing their thing. Weather in hell? No. Hell, Michigan is what you want to put. So hell and then comma Michigan and space comma Michigan. That'll help you. And that'll give you an actual weather report of hell. And hell is in Michigan, just so you know. Boy, I'm coughing a lot now. Anyway, down on the bottom end of Florida there, still looking good, but a lot cooler. Grandma B's house going to be 7 degrees, and that would be a little, 8 degrees. There we go. A little warmer. That'll help. And going up, we know New York, 8, 9, that type of temperature. Boston actually warmer than New York, which is really cool, but or warm. Anyway, you see that shear line in here, that weather system pushing all the warm air into the water. We want it going the other way. Looking at the Baja area and stuff like that, they're still holding some nice temps, but it is starting to get a little bit on the cooler side there. Same with most of Mexico. And we see that kind of pushing down right onto the Yucatan. And that's kind of interesting. 26, 27 in Cancun, sliding further south. We are seeing what we've got in South America, and looking at the Amazon area and Brazil, and looking at not bad temperatures, sliding down a little bit more. We see Argentina holding some warmer temps. It is nighttime there already, and Uruguay showing top end 19, 20 degrees, bottom end here along the coast about 15, 16. So really not that bad there. And nice to see it warmed up a little bit there. Rio de Janeiro coming in at 21, 22 degrees right now. That's not bad. And we see a couple of warmer areas down on the bottom end of Argentina as well. And there's that high just off the coast. There's a shear line in here. So probably a bunch colder down below that shear line. Anyway, sliding over to New Zealand, we see it's not too bad, not as warm as it was yesterday, but the eastern side of the island a lot better than the western side right now. You'd think it'd be the opposite, but it is what it is. 17, 18 on the peninsula, and then lower teens down on the other portions of the North Island. That big high in there is probably going to help bring some more warm air in. Tasmania looks like it warmed up a whole bunch, looking at 15, 16 in some places. Hobart there would be somewhere around 15, and what did I see? There was a 17 in here. And anyway, they're having a nicer day. And a lot warmer in Melbourne at 18 right now, so Leo is probably enjoying his warmth. 21 over here in Adelaide, and if we zip over to Perth, they got some warm temperatures too, 22 degrees today. Seeing that circulation here, that low, looks like a double low in here really. That is pulling down that warmer air. Actually, I don't know where it's all taking it. That low is kind of deceiving. 23 in Sydney, going up to home of Oz, 21 degrees C here in Oz country, so not bad. Northern end of Australia looking very hot. getting up into the mid 30s up in some places, so pretty good. And our Indonesian, Malaysian, and Philippine area, well, they have this NISAT still there churning away. And that thing's been sitting in this area for, what, 4 days, 5 days now, doing its thing. That is pretty nasty. So, and Bangkok coming in at, the map says 25, and Sue brought it up, it says 27 there. So, yeah, probably right around that. Depends on where you take the temperature. 67% relative humidity. That's pretty dry for them. They're going to end up having to use moisturizer. Manila coming in at 28 degrees in the Philippines, so pretty awesome looking there. Japan has cooled off a whole bunch, you guys, and definitely a lot colder. And we see what's going on there. And all the, even here in the Sea of Japan, it's kind of mixing in there, and that warm air and cold air getting together. I don't know what the heck is going to end up happening. Probably a bunch of rain right here, and sliding up, and we see that nasty huge low up here, and Kamchatka Peninsula is getting nailed, and yeah, that's drawing up some of that stuff. And anyway, let's see, down here, India pretty normal, and no storms as of yet to hit Madagascar. Warm down here in South Africa, really nice for the most part. And of course in the central regions you got a lot more rain falling and stuff like that, but we'll see. Looking at the Sahara Desert areas, cooling down a bit, and showing about 17, 18 in Cairo right now. So that's kind of what we got. 01M, we got a storm happening there. That's not too far away from Kos, and I wonder if that is going to draw a little bit of moisture down for Piggy. I'm not sure where this guy is going to go. It's probably going to push in to the east here. We'll see what happens. And of course Iraq coming in 22 at Baghdad, a little bit cooler, and of course a lot colder when you get into Turkey, and most of Greece looking fairly cold, and we are seeing warmer temps around the coastlines again, but middle to low teens for Sicily, and then the same thing goes for Italy. The coastal areas are a lot warmer, but you're seeing the higher elevations really cooling off. Milano coming in at about 14. Looking at new Monkland, new Irish Monkland right here. Looking very, very nice at 14, 15, 17 degrees, depending on where you are, 18 in some spots. So real nice temperatures in Sardinia, as well as in Spain, still some good temperatures. And we see the Gulf Stream is really being pulled up here and hitting what we see here in Portugal, and that is also getting parked right here in this area as well, and heading into France. So that is helping. Germany cooling off. We only got 9 in Hamburg, Berlin 9, Munich coming in at a lovely 15. So a big difference there. And Yvonne Kunkel's house would be somewhere around here, and she'd be having 9, 10 degrees. Luxembourg a little bit warmer at 11, 12, and then we get into some of Belgium there, looking at anywhere from a 9 to about 12 as well. Same thing, a little bit cooler there in parts of Holland, but the coastal areas still showing some higher temperatures. And we'll take a quick peek here. Denmark, not bad, and we see what we've got there is, mid to upper single digits for the most part. That's not really that bad for this time of year. Looking at the way this system is pulling everything out now, being further south, that is bringing warmer air and drawing it over. What? I will share the rain. Okay. Well, see how much rain you're going to get right away. You got about 12, 13 degrees right now, and the wind blowing from the east, which is a little bit odd for there. But hey, it happens. And looking at Wales, kind of a split decision there. Some colder temps, but the coastal area is getting warmer. Down on the bottom end here, though, of England, we're seeing much higher temperatures. And the rest is single digits going all the way up into our Scotland area up in the top. So that's what we're seeing there. And of course, a lot colder in Sweden today. Stockholm only coming in at about 3 or 4 degrees. And Oslo here in Norway, 2 degrees Celsius. Looking at the other areas there, they look pretty darn cold, -3, -4, depending on where you are. St. Petersburg coming in at 6, Moscow is about 5 degrees, Riga somewhere around 9, so they're a little bit warmer there. Iceland warmed up a little bit on the coastal areas because of the way the flows are, so still a little bit on the cold side though. Today it's 5 degrees. That's better than the 2 degrees they had yesterday in Reykjavik. And looking at the tip of the peninsula here, 7, 8 degrees. And as you move in Ragnar area and Fagradalfjord, it'll probably be somewhere around 4 or 5 degrees. That is what we're seeing. So those are the temperatures around the planet real quick. Let's move over to the moisture and see what's happening. Here's that low that I figured was beating the daylights out of the northwestern coast of Canada, as well as into Alaska and those areas. We'll leave the Great White North alone for now. And that system that we had here in Manitoba and northern Ontario moved over a bunch and is now working together with this other stuff that I'm surprised that didn't move far enough to the east yet, but Sue will likely get some of that rain. And of course, the lake effect happening around here. The Great Lakes, of course, causing a good place for a low. And there we see southern Ontario got all kinds of stormy weather. Northern portions here, a bunch of snow. Quebec and those areas and looking like pretty nasty. And then also seeing rain expected tomorrow. Yeah, you might even get some tonight by the looks of things if that keeps pushing, Sue. But that's kind of what we've got there. Let's go down a little bit more. We're seeing a pretty dry in most of the U.S. Some storms, small stuff down here in Florida, nothing to worry about for the most part, and it doesn't get very busy till we get down here. And this is, of course, Central America, Mexico. We've got that high sitting there, causing all kinds of interesting circulations, and that is really neat to see. Here's that other low, and that is kind of churning the opposite direction. We'll see what happens by tomorrow. And of course some rain in the Amazon areas as we're going along. And looking at Argentina, a little bit of rain in the backside here, but not looking at too bad. Some small spots in Paraguay as well, and going back out to the coast. Uruguay looks dry today, which is really good, and we see a little bit on the Chile side there. And let's have a look at New Zealand, west coast of the South Island, getting some rain there, not too much. And then a little bit on the North Island, the east coast area, southeast coast. That's okay there. And then we are seeing some circulations here, that double low kind of doing its thing, creating a big storm. And there we go. We're seeing our Tasmania is dry. Same thing with the southern area here. Melbourne would be dry right now. Same thing with Perth. And the breadbasket here is getting some more rain. And that is doing all right. It looks like home of Oz, Brisbane here, definitely getting some rain as well. Moving up into our Malaysian, Papua New Guinea area, and then Indonesia, Malaysia, and Philippines. As discussed, we said before, this NISAT is still sitting there churning away. This thing's been here for a while. There's nothing pushing it out, and looks like he's building some friends in here as well, and probably going to help keep them there for a little while. Sliding up to Japan, and not so bad as far as precipitation anyway. A few spots getting some rain, and nothing too major. And then we look at that monster low that's sitting up here just north of the Kamchatka Peninsula, and that is driving this shear line all the way through and creating all kinds of bad snow up in the Bering Sea, and all the way into well, that's not really Siberia. Siberia is more over here, but still it's doing its thing. And we see that storm out here in the Indian Ocean area. Hopefully that'll not be too nasty. And again, Central Africa, as I was saying, that's kind of the jungle area. They're getting a bunch of rain, a little bit of rain down in South Africa as well. Same thing with Madagascar, but not too bad. There's a storm brewing here, so this storm will probably just cut across here right where Reunion Island is and do its thing. And now zooming in here, this is 01M. That's actually fairly small for a storm, but it is there, and hopefully it'll draw in a little bit more rain for Piggy. We see Crete is getting a little bit of rain and then sliding over. Hopefully the same thing goes for this area, that they don't get more rain in Sicily. That's all they need. They had enough of that. Looks like just a little bit of fog in our Sardinia area, New Monk land. There we go, I got it right. And of course we see what, Maui Me, gotta run, aloha all. Maui Me, I didn't even see you come in. I can't listen at work, but can't comment, restricted. Okay, Maui Me, run carefully, Maui Me. And thanks for stopping in anyway. Looking at the western coast of Portugal, top end of Spain, seeing some of that stormy activity. And Irish Monk, there's your rain. As I promised, the weather is bringing some, but we're not giving you too much. There will be some, but hopefully you're not going to get overwhelmed, and that should be all right there. That monster low, though, I don't know where it's going to go. And looking at this going in here, we see it's really not bothering too many people, other than the good folks in near Minsk are going to get some rain. And then we see a little bit in Poland as well. Riga area definitely getting nailed, and not bad in Sweden and Finland, some snow. Same thing with Norway along the coast. That is pretty normal for them, and looks like it is fairly dry there in our wonderful Iceland, so that is pretty good. All right, let's pop over, take a look for our coldest place on the planet right now, and I'm still thinking it is down here somewhere. And we'll have to switch in a few months. We'll have to switch and go up into the north instead of checking in the south. And I haven't seen anything really super cold yet. Minus 61 so far. We'll find something here. There's got to be colder than minus 61 degrees Celsius. Come on. There's got to be something here. Somewhere. There's that high. What's going on here? We got to find something. Oh boy, minus 61 C. I don't know. I don't believe that. Oh, I see minus 62 right there. Maybe a minus 63. No. Ah, darn it. Okay, I'm going to give up, and I'm going to say minus 62. Oh, Sharon Stewart found minus 62. No, Sue Hayes found minus 62. Sharon Stewart says Sue has minus 62. Got it. And I got minus 62 too. So there. It's a tie for today. And that is wonderful. And unless there's something colder, I don't see anything colder. That's it. Minus 62 degrees Celsius, unless we zoom in and really go for it. I don't see anything colder. It's a balmy day for penguin. And, yep. And it's a tie again. You bet. And 62 and a 62. So that is it for today, you guys. And thank you, everyone, for being here. I'm glad that we were all here and enjoyed our wonderful stuff, looking at the lovely lava around the world, or volcanoes. And hopefully it will continue and do our thing. We'll see what comes out in the near future. Of course, keeping an eye on what we can. It's always difficult sometimes to find the best volcanoes going, but it is what it is. Hey, I didn't see Judy Allen there before, and thanks, Judy, and good night to you, and also Billy Bob Joe and Linda and Linda Schoof and all the rest of you. Anyway, big thank you to our wonderful super chatters. David Kota with his super chat. Billy Bob Joe threw in a super chat. Same with Thor. Thank you very much. And also Irish Monk. Thank you very kindly for your support, Irish Monk, as well as the 10 pack of gift memberships. That's very, very awesome of you, and I really do appreciate it. And one fish is saying hi, and it's time to say bye, one fish. It is that time of day. So thank you, everyone, for being here. Also want to say a big thank you to our moderators, Arizona Snowman, Piggy, CND Boy, 24/7 Live, AZ Skies, Gary, and Joseph Fields, as well as Lucas Snow, and any of the others that were sitting in the background. Super big thank you to each and every one of you in the Lava family, whether you are actually a member or not. Just you're still a member of our Lava family, so remember that. And oh, mummy of goodness, and welcome. Glad to have you pop in there like that. Anyway, be good, everyone. Be kind. Take care of yourselves, and please, most of all, make sure you tell your loved ones that you love them tonight, for tomorrow is never promised. I'm your host, DrFox2000, here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, wishing you all a very good night, and stay safe. Oink, oink.